Quick, is it my end or your end? But some webcam glitching going on.
It's your end.
Well, I'm hearing it too. I'm hearing Halo break up.
Are you?
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, so far.
Okay, cool. Okay, so anyways, yeah, a brief introduction on yourselves.
I'm pretty much a gamer, musician. I build guitars for a living at a factory here in Texas.
Oh,
building them guitars.
build guitars. Yes.
Well, if you ever need any advice or any pointers,
Oh,
or
yeah,
anything,
Gene loves guitars.
I'm master at tuning them and everything. But mainly, I came on Twitch, do music, and smoke some weed, and talk about topics that just need to be talked about. That's pretty much it. I came on as a person just looking for friends and trying to build a community about different topics and music and marijuana, and that's pretty much it.
Scott, he'll have very interesting topics. Let's just say he likes to talk about the spicy stuff.
Delve into some spicy meatballs.
Basically, so you know, Scott's just entertainer influencer, just like myself, except he is guitar stoner, essentially. With that said, again, I want to welcome everybody here to Inner Circle, and you know, let's get this show started. I'm ready. So, first topic for tonight on Inner Circle. Let's see. Why don't we go ahead and start off by talking about the new social media platform PvP? So, do you guys know what that is?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it. It just sounds like two people playing a game against each other.
It sounds like RuneScape, like two people are just PvPing against each other in RuneScape.
Yeah.
So basically what it is it's a social media platform that's essentially supposed to be like Twitter, but it's strictly for video games and meeting up with people to play certain video games, maybe getting achievements. A social media connection platform that might actually be good for YouTube and video games. What do you guys think about that?
If they have it geared towards video games, yeah.
But my question is, how is it going to stand out amongst itself? Because I feel like there's other platforms that still do that better, like Instagram, for example.
Or Discord.
Yeah, Discord.
Yeah.
I can see one reason why, and this is the other reason why in my book, this is just an opinion, is that if they do it right, they can rid out all the shit content that's on other platforms like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, and just make it a gaming community without any confrontation or any thoughts.
Any thoughts of irrelevancy, basically, like things that are going to take away from the idea of gaming.
Everyone's gaming, you know, like that's all I'm saying. If they do it like that, then I'm like totally 100% down to clown on that platform and possibly meet some of the best players in the world of some of these games, you know, if it's gonna be like that.
And they have to make the interface easy, because I just started using a Discord a couple of weeks ago, and it just looks like a pile of garbage to me.
Oh, Discord?
Yeah.
Well, you're not far from it. It's definitely a pile of garbage. They're still actually developing it as we speak. They have not actually finished even developing Discord. It was kind of thrown out there a few years ago, and it's like, here you go, guys.
Good luck.
Yeah, basically.
At first, when Discord first came out, I didn't like it, but then everybody was like, oh, use it, and then I got swayed into using it over time. So my thing is, I want it to be as good as Discord. Well, even though Discord's not really that good, I mean, I just want it to be more used than that, because I will definitely use the platform for what it's meant to do. And that's just to meet up with people and gain the same interest. But my question is it going to be like Twitch, where it's just booty streamers all the time, and then it's just the top people all the time, and then there's really no means of ever trying to find people in the bottom of the list. You know, how well is their algorithms going to be bent towards just people finding you?
Yeah, that's the two biggest things, is their algorithm working towards the content creators that are working hard on what they're doing. And then keeping the thoughts out.
Mm-hmm.
We just gotta have platforms that just make it not appealing for somebody to waste their time shaking their butt in front of a webcam.
Yeah, I completely agree, because right now it's like how I feel about it is it's just like the rich keep getting richer, except the more popular streamers just keep getting more popular. I feel like.
And for nothing too, when you think about the content most people put out, it's really just like repetitive content, or it's just so stupid.
Oh, I just feel like some of it is just, I just don't see the appeal. But that's keeping it lightheartedly.
Yeah,
repetitive content, like some YouTube channels, they're like, oh, you have to be a niche, and I bet they're doing the same on Twitch or wherever else. Like, they're so focused on their niche, they're just repeating the same videos over and over again, and maybe they'll get a subscriber, watch their stuff for a few months, but then they stop. I want to see content that evolves.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, you're right, and that's something else I've heard in a video, is that some people will just hang around, you know, for a while just to see you grow as an individual and transform eventually.
Somebody in my YouTube chat says a service can't provide something consumers don't want to consume. Dot streamers are big because they are high demand and because Twitch pushes them. Those are both good points, because sex always sells. So if they make the algorithm only show you what you want, that's like, look at Facebook and all. The more engagement you get on a meme, the more it pushes that meme to other people, and yet it could be poison. It could be a toxic meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. See,
So it needs to not be geared towards just that one particular thing. It needs to be all things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, my whole concern is that exact thing. It's just like, you know, what the consumer wants to buy and purchase is what the consumer's going to want to buy and purchase. And now here's the thing. Us consumers might not be as smart as they think they are. That's why you have...
That's also true, too.
Varies in different levels of consumers. And that's all based off of opinion and the emotion they feel towards watching what they watch. I mean, shit, some people love watching shoe reviews on YouTube, you know, and that's all they watch. And I'm just like, that's the same videos over and over again, you know? It's just, some people like certain things.
What was it the other day? I seen somebody, I'm reviewing cigarettes. I was like, I never seen that.
I disagree. Jesus Christ. I disagree with that completely. That's terrible.
It's hilarious because he's like, I got me a Marlboro Blend, or today I got me a Camel. And he's smoking it, and he's like, tastes good.
It's good for your lungs if you're smoking that much a day, but yeah, whatever, man. Good, more power to him. But yeah, it all goes back to the consumer thing. But yeah, that's just my point on that. I think this platform PvP can be good if they do it the right way. If they're gonna make it like Twitch and Instagram, then they're gonna be a Twitch and Instagram, and this is gonna be another site that's like that. So
that's just a carbon copy.
Yeah, that's what makes me disappointed. That's my only kind of sadness about it.
So I guess we're just gonna have to keep hopeful that it ends up being a really good platform.
Yeah.
We'll just have to look out for it in the next year or two and have an update on it later and see where it's at.
I hope so. I really do.
Either it's good or I ignore it because of all the stuff I have to post every week.
Well, what do you think about Instagram? So what do you think about Instagram trying to be like TikTok now, Robert? Did you know that?
No, I thought, the funny thing is I thought Instagram was around with Vines. I thought it was already being that kind of thing.
But like it was, and then it like changed, and then it's like going back now, or it's turning it like, because Instagram was all about just posting pictures. Now it's literally just like TikTok. You could use filters and do the same shit on it now.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I could go on a rant about TikTok, but basically, I can't imagine all the time people spend with their two thumbs to edit a video that has filters and different special effects, and none of them are labeled with text. They're all little icons. Like, how on earth are you even alive? How do you have time to tie your shoes or go to the bathroom if you're editing that stupid TikTok?
Yeah, and you know what? It gets even more hard, Robert, is when you take all that stuff to the computer to edit it. Because then you could edit it from your computer to post it onto TikTok, and that just for a 10-second clip.
I've done that, and it's way easier. Like, it'll be like 3 hours to get something done. And I've seen tutorials. Imagine having a 60-second frame of time to give a tutorial about something that somebody takes 12 hours to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, no, forget it. Forget it. Okay, I'm going to get all these views on TikTok, but to what ends?
I'm just going to say, I think TikTok is trash.
Yep.
Yeah,
And I
that's what I was
always
trying to
have.
tell Robert. Like, even though Instagram is doing it just like that, I prefer Instagram more, to be honest with you.
And my viewer on YouTube says every social media has been taking TikTok's formula. And you even got YouTube Shorts.
Oh, you're right. Okay, YouTube Shorts, Facebook Shorts, because Facebook is doing it too, and now Instagram is trying to do it. It's like they're all trying to just one up each other.
And what's crazy is they're shooting themselves in the foot, because the more you give the user something that feeds attention deficit disorder, or whatever you want to call it these days, they think they're going to get more engagement on their platform, but it's opposite. You create narcissism. You create a thing where people don't remember what they saw 10 minutes ago. You create a thing where people don't have any time in their life because, I don't have any time, but yet they sit there for 6 hours straight staring at 30 or 60-second videos, just swiping past the ones they don't want.
Yeah.
And we need to, that's going to hurt engagement on everything, because like you were talking earlier about your article videos, people not watching the whole thing. The reason why people are doing that is because they've been training themselves into a pattern of, I'm going to watch it until I start to lose interest, and then I'm going to stop. I'm going to go on to something else. And yet, there's two things they're hurting themselves on. They're not helping their content creator. So I like Halo's videos. If I don't like the content of what he's saying at the specific moment, I'll fast forward 10 seconds.
Right.
But I let the whole video play out, right? And at the other end, if you're making people do that, they're not actually engaging in the content. They're just turning into a zombie.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
exactly.
no, that's a good way of actually thinking about it, because it's like now people are going to be expecting us to tell them everything they want to know in 30 seconends.
I can't do it like that. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. And then what about the trend? Have you seen the YouTube short trends, Robert, where this guy goes into like an ice cream store every 30 seconds and he's like getting ice cream all the time? Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, it's this Dylan guy, bro. This Dylan guy goes around and as an ice cream store shop guy, and he literally just makes ice cream and explains this story in 30 seconds, and it's all different every single time. It's always him making a new ice cream or doing something with the ice cream, and he's like, haven't you ever know when I made that ice cream, I tried to explain and he talks like Chills from Top 10, but they're 30-second YouTube shorts, and it's like, what the hell?
Yep, and if you notice now in Instagram and all those, when you post a video, it doesn't give you the option to make a 10-minute video. I think, what is it? Because Broderick was showing me, I think it's now only like a minute and 30 seconds or 10 seconds now is only allowed on Instagram for a live upload video. Like, if you want to upload a video. So they're already doing it. Already making people do that while they're posting. So not only are consumers used to it, but now they're making the streamers and making us get used to it. That's why they had that setting. So Robert's completely right. That's kind of messed up. I'm just saying that's really a downfall to content creators. In a
And
bad
then
way.
monetization, making it harder for people to even be monetized now.
Mm-hmm.
Because YouTube got tired of paying out people.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Anyways, so with that said, we'll go ahead and move on to our next topic. Robert, would you like to talk about our next topic going on to you now?
Yeah, cryptocurrency.
All right, cryptocurrency craze is here, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm gonna start.
All right.
I'm gonna start it with a little bit of rant that I have about Linus Tech Tips.
Oh, do
Okay.
tell, because I never hear people complain about him either. So let's talk about it.
He is of the opinion that it's fine to mine during the winter when it's cold out because your mining rig is a heater and you don't have to run AC to cool it down because it's not efficient for the planet, you know, for you to be running an AC and a mining rig. And my counter argument is, if I want to send money to a friend in Canada through a normal bank, it at least goes through 3 banks. And has at least 3 employees at each bank that touch that money. Anywhere from 9 banks to 9 employees per bank, right? And they're all burning gasoline cars, internal combustion engines to drive to and from work every day to do this crap. And yet, a cryptocurrency transaction happens in milliseconds. And that transaction is validated by my mining rig.
Right.
I am a pioneer that is paving the way for the future. And it's not going to look anything like it does like right now. Right? But it has to be done somehow. We have to figure the algorithms out. We have to figure out the cryptographic whatever as it is. And get it to where it's stable. And we're still in the bubble right now. Like the late 90s of the internet. When everybody was using Lycos to web search, and then Google came along and took over, right?
Yep.
Or Ask Jeeves.
Or Ask Jeeves, yeah. I remember, and then I remember when they changed it to Ask.com.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
So whatever cryptocurrencies we're going to be using in the future, we don't know what they are. But for Linus Tech Tips to complain about using too much electricity during the summer, I said, well, someday we're going to have Tesla cars auto-driving people to and from where they go. And there's going to be no physical banks that we go to.
It just seems like as much as I like watching his videos, sometimes I of the times.
I think you broke up there.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on real quick. Shit.
Oh, you're out. And you're coming back.
It's coming to the vortex. Get in here.
Okay, hello?
Ah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There you
Okay.
are.
Anyways, so Linus Tech, as much as I do like watching his videos, I feel like he's very hypocritical sometimes, though. In certain aspects, like, it's hard to see it, but sometimes I'm just, like, thinking to myself, like...
Can I bring it to an example real quick?
Yeah.
You can, yes, you can, because I don't have a lot to say about him, to be honest
No,
with you.
because it's this kind of same situation. When Jeff Bezos went to the Eco Summit and used his jet engine to get there, but yet he's sitting there telling people not to use their cars and their private jets.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, there you go.
It is the same exact case, but in different people, obviously. And this is the thing. Half these people spewing this, oh, green energy, save the earth. Half of them are still using their motorcycles and their, yachts and their everything. They are trying to make money off of us. It's all about that, and that's the only reason it's happening.
Well, Linus Tech Tip, let me turn around and show you my sponsor. You know what I mean? After, like, trying to sell us more shit, and I'm just like...
Well,
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's a little hypocritical, but
Yeah, I understand that he has a business and he's making money, but me, first and foremost, I'm an anti-consumer. So anybody watching this stream wants to subscribe to my channel. If I show you tech, that means I put a lot of time into deciding it. And if I don't like it, either I'm going to tell you I don't like it, or I don't do a video on it. You know? So I'm an anti-consumer first. So when someone keeps spouting about sponsored, I'm very critical. Is this, whatever they're talking about, going to help me or not? And at least in Linus Tech Tips, I see that his sponsors he doesn't allow his sponsors to shape his content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that is true. You're right.
But like IT guy just said in my chat, I don't like watching his videos at all. It's like murder of my soul. Because there was a video
I like some of them.
I was subscribed to Linus Tech Tips up until a point in 2017 or 2016 maybe. He did a video where Intel sent him a box full of dirt. Literal dirt from the ground. And Intel was trolling him, and he didn't get the joke. They were basically calling him a gold digger because they had all the precious metals that go into an Intel CPU in the box for him to dig out.
Yep. All he cares. See, I'm telling you, a lot of these guys like that, all they care about is money, and they're willing to push an idea on us as a consumer of, hey, but really you're not living what you're preaching, man.
I'm sure he doesn't even use these like, dude. Okay, let's talk about consumerism. Let's talk about crop ball wipes. Get your ball wipes here. Who remembers that?
And the ads when they come up, and I go on my YouTube and I report it and I say whatever it is that this is unacceptable because it's sexual or whatever, and they keep showing it to me. Oh, stupid Manscaped commercials. Manscaped. There's a clean way to tell you, here's a shaver that's going to help you down below. That's a nice way to say it. See? Come on, Manscaped, sponsor my channel, and that's the way I'm saying it. I'm not going to be talking dirty about my man parts.
Nothing against the ball wipes, but why would I want to be known for the guy that wants to sell you ball wipes? Right? I mean, dude, like, think about that. Like, Robert, oh, you want to buy some ball wipes, Robert? You know?
Yeah, well, first I would actually teach you to wipe front to back so you don't have to use ball wipes.
Hey, there you go. Proper wiping techniques, people! Get it together. Get it together.
Make a commercial for that. There'd be no need for all the ball wipes.
You know, it's funny because when I first got on intermittent fasting after being on keto for a year, I realized this is like what Thanos needs. We could solve the world's hunger by educating them that they're eating 3 times more food than they need.
You know, that's actually why half the reason the United States is so obese now is because of all we eat so much and we don't even know how much we eat.
Don't even think about it.
Well, it's also fast food convenience too. Like, you could literally get a meal in 5 minutes now and be filled for the rest of the day.
Well, if they could sell you crack at only a tiny piece for $5, and all you had to do was step outside whenever you wanted it, you would then be addicted to crack. That's what fast food is.
Well, you could even say that DoorDash is like that too, right?
Honestly, in my opinion, anything that has more than 30% carbohydrates in your meal is a drug.
Yeah, I agree.
So here's my question. Back to the main topic. So this guy is using his car and preaching basically the thing that he's telling people to do, but he's not living up to. He's not doing it himself.
Well, my argument about Linus Tech Tips is he doesn't see the connection. He doesn't realize that cryptocurrency is going to help the environment, help our health, because we won't be breathing as much exhaust fumes from all the people driving around.
We're not cutting down all these trees because, I mean, aren't we needing to plant like millions of trees already now, and we just keep cutting them down?
Deforestation is a result of just the growth of humanity in general.
Yeah.
But
but with that said, though, cryptocurrency will require less energy. He'll be back right now. cryptocurrency will require less energy for certain transactions, and it's all just digital, you know?
Yeah. And there's other stuff that's coming out of it that may or may not last, like non-fungible tokens, NFTs, and make
NFTs have huge scandals behind them right now. That's the reason.
You know why? Because anything that's trending is going to have scandal. Because people are going to try to jump on it to make their own money or whatever. Like, there's fake coins. In 2017, there was a pot coin for marijuana. How dumb is that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Doesn't make any sense.
Wow.
No, it doesn't.
It's a
little ridiculous.
And now what I think is that the tokens that people least expect are going to be the ones that are worth a lot. Like back to my example of bat tokens. Like, nobody's really fucking with bat tokens, but bat tokens are just growing and growing, and I just keep saving.
Oh, yeah, bats.
Saving them.
Basic attention token. Now, that will have more growth, in my opinion, once they let the person that earns bat keep their bat.
Yeah.
Because I poked around on my bat like 2 or 3 times a year, and there's only like a 6-month window there where they let me take it out and send it to my Coinbase.
Oh.
So every time I got a payout, it went straight to my Coinbase because I went in there and sent it. And now because they started it, it's like, oh, here's a great way for you to pay your YouTuber. And I'm like, what's that thing that some YouTubers have? Starts with a P, I think.
I've seen all kinds of.
You know what I'm talking about? Where you pay your YouTuber a monthly, like $1.
Yeah.
What is that called?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not
anything
sure, to
about
be honest with you.
I don't stream on YouTube, so I don't know anything.
Not YouTube partner. Come on, brain. Well, Bat was supposed to be a way like that. So some YouTubers at the end say, for a monthly subscription, you get my videos earlier. Go to this website here. Right?
Patreon.
Thank you. So Bat was supposed to be like Patreon, where you use the Brave browser, you earn Bat by looking at ads that they present to you, and then you use that Bat to pay your YouTuber. The thing is, not all YouTubers are into cryptocurrency yet, and Bat isn't on all the exchanges, so
I'm hopping on the Bat trend. I'm getting everything hooked up with Bat, and I'm just gonna go for it.
Yeah, it's something that may work. It's just going to take a lot of time for adoption, and I think the number one obstacle they have is not letting you cash out your Bat. Like, some people want to pay their YouTuber with Patreon. We're like, no, I want to keep my Bat.
Well, remember the moon coins? Remember when people blew up the moon coins for one day, and it was like stuff. Yeah, dude. The moon coins, dude. Yeah, so first it was Doge, and then it was moon coins, and then moon coins like blew the fuck up for one day, and then it dropped dramatically the next day.
Yep, and also I do remember we covered that in a podcast before. We talked about that dropping and everything, and also the Acorn scandal. The Acorn scandal, which I want to let you tell, basically, Robert, how you got jacked. It's messed up how they did him, Robert. It's messed up. They did our boy bad. He basically.
You mean not the Acorn scandal? You mean the Robin Hood and the crypto?
Robin Hood scandal. Yeah, sorry, not Acorn.
Yeah. So dude. So when Doge was going up from 16 cents, flying to 70. I attempted to make like $800 transactions into the Doge coins and spend it all at once to buy them hella fast before they went up, and my bank tried to screw me. They red flagged me for fraudulent activity. I had to get that settled the next day, and it was already too late, so I was only able to get in so much at so point. And yeah, I mean, I end up making $500 to $3,000 off of that one little purchase right there. So I was really happy, but at the same time, when it was about to go to $1, right? And before it went to $1, crypto.com went down and Robinhood all went down at the same exact time. They froze their assets. They froze everything.
And you know what I told him, because I don't mind bitcoins, but I always read
Froze their assets.
articles
They
about
froze
them.
everything.
And there was an article that basically read that sometimes these sites where you mine coins and you transaction them shut down because you're taking so much money and it's like too much or something. So they shut the site down so your transaction or whatever you're mining can't completely get to you. Is that a thing? Is that maybe what happened and why both sites went down like at the same time and there were like too many people at once or
Maybe
doing
yeah. You ever heard of distributed denial of service?
Mm-hmm.
this? I haven't.
So go back to I think 2004 or 5, and a really good example from back then was the first time that Victoria's Secret did a live stream of their fashion show.
Okay.
And obviously sex sells, so you got a bunch of thoughts walking up and down a runway,
Halo.
and anybody with male testosterone wants to watch that, and you got everyone on the internet trying to watch it at the same time, and the server can't handle it.
Right.
That's part of it. The other part of it is that apps like Robinhood are free, which means how are they making their money? What they do is they sell metadata about who's buying what and when to the people you're actually trying to Robinhood against.
Are the ones Robin Hooding you?
They're actually Robinhooding you because
Yeah.
they're waiting to see what you're buying, and then they hedge against you.
Or they're or they'll just freeze your system for about an hour, 2 hours until the price drops down, and then fucking you still make your money, but you're not making more than what they want you to.
Yeah, that's probably what's going on, and I wouldn't put it past them to have some sort of algorithm or something to make their system throttle that way.
Well, my thing is, isn't that completely illegal?
There's a lot of illegal stuff, but as long as law enforcement doesn't have a way to track it or prove it, they're going to do it. And on top of that, I mean, look at like Google or Amazon when they get sued. They're like, okay, we're sued by the government and we have to pay $30 million, which is like 0.001% of what we made last year.
Right.
Yep. So that's why I'm kind of skeptical of getting into the whole and trading and all that.
Well, you just got to
worried.
you just got to get into a token that you know is not going to flip-flop hella fast. Like the trend tokens are the ones that are hit and miss. You know, you got to find, like me, I'm into my BAT tokens and I'm happy with the BAT tokens cuz they're not going up and down hella crazy. They're going up and down and then up a little bit more, and then it seems to be growing at a good stable growth.
The IT guy said in my YouTube chat, and I agree, that if you see one of these joke tokens coming along, you can maybe buy some and wait for everyone else to buy it and then just sell and get out. Leave your position and leave it alone and just like, haha, I made some money off you dorks.
Yeah, you're right. Like, let's talk about the Squid Game tokens. There's Squid tokens, and then people
Squid tokens?
from the thing. Wow. Jesus.
And then there was Dead by Daylight NFT pinhead tokens, and then people got scammed on that too.
Are any of these sites actually like legit for this? I mean, that's why I'm skeptical, man. Like, I really am, and I don't know.
What is there? Next thing you know, there's gonna be Paul Blart tokens. How much you want to bet?
The only, for the record, just to tell Robert, the only bitcoins I've ever mined, and it's not even really mining, was watching ads on Twitch to pay tip streamers.
But that's bits though. That's not really cryptocurrency though. I mean, it kind of is, but
that's kind of the only thing I've done to like kind of like that. I don't know much about it. I don't know how to mine it. I don't know how to even begin doing it the right way.
Well, not all coins can be mined. Do you ever heard of the term proof of stake versus proof of work?
Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't.
Proof of work means that you have an algorithm that's being done to do a transaction. Let's say I'm sending money to Halo. And so how cryptographic algorithms work. Let's say I'm on a bank website and I want the bank to tell me how much is in my account. And I give the bank something called a public key. Anybody can see that. Anybody could sniff that data over the internet. That's the point. Anybody can encrypt data for me with the public key, but I'm the only one that can unlock it with the private key.
Right.
Now, cryptocurrency proof of work works that way, where you give the miner the public key and they use it against the transaction to see if the sum comes up with the same result, if that makes any sense. It's like doing your math backwards. Okay, we've done this long division problem. Let's do the multiplication to see if it comes out the same way. And proof of stake, I'm not sure how they validate transactions, but Ethereum already has a coin for it called Ethereum 2.
What about Bitcoin? What about Bitcoin Cash?
Bitcoin Cash, is that proof of stake as well? It's where you have it a balance.
Example.
So with proof of work, the more hash power you have, the bigger of a payout you get for the transaction as a miner, because I'm the authority that authenticated the transaction. But with proof of stake, somebody with a bigger account balance gets more because they're paid interest.
Oh, gotcha.
And Ethereum's supposedly in 2022 going to go to all proof of stake.
I don't know, but Ethereum is like hella going up too as well. Like people are really into that.
Right now, Ethereum is worth $4,631 for one.
Yeah, it's gonna go to 10,000 soon. I can just tell.
I sold one Ethereum last week. Last week, and I got one 3090 and two 5700s because I don't think everybody knows this. And by everybody, I mean most miners. You can take the memory timing tables from a 5700 XT and copy paste them into a file and then push that BIOS file onto the 5700. And for like $250 less per card, get the same hash rate as a 5700 XT.
Well, what about the whole blocking of the mining things in the 3090s? I was talking about that a while ago.
Well,
they're supposed to be nerfing it.
Yeah, that's called LHR, stands for low hash rate. And I had to do a bunch of research before buying any cards, but it started with the 3060. When the 3060 came out, it was LHR. They call it version 1 because it was easy to crack. All you had to do was put a dummy plug into the back of the card so it thought you had a monitor plugged in. And it would get full hash rate. So then they did a better one later on. So every card that came out after that was LHR. So you have to like do your research, go on eBay, look at the serial number sticker and try to match that up with somebody talking on Reddit, whether or not that's an LHR one or the old one. But the 3090 never had an LHR variant. They are all full hash rate.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On top of that, say if you just want to mine on the side when you're not editing or whatever, an LHR card is fine because you can find some miners that defeat up to like 71% of the LHR. It was like it still gets you like partial hash rate. I have a 3070 that I won on the Newegg Shuffle in my system right now, and
you actually won that giveaway?
Yeah, it was not a giveaway. You know, it's like a random. You get to buy a card at MSRP, sort of.
Oh, okay, got you.
I'd love to have a 3080 Ti because the TIs are for editing. You know.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Anyway,
I need to get into freaking bit mining.
Well,
that's what I was trying to.
I highly recommend against doing mining specifically for Bitcoin because you have to use something called an ASIC miner. And ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Controller. Now, like I was saying earlier, the more people mining or the more your hash rate is, the more you get paid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you're getting a bigger piece of the pie. So you have to think of a pie, and you're getting a piece of that pie paid out to you because you were part of a pool of people that validated transaction. But what will happen is that everybody's competing against each other, always increasing their hash rate to the point where they have to increase the difficulty to mine in order for the coin to not just all fall out and go to the miners. It needs to be able for people to trade it still. So the more mining...
So they're making it tough for people to get, so they can't just walk out and have hella money.
Yeah, so the more people mine, the faster the new DAG comes out. And that stands for something I can't pronounce. Dyslexic graph or something. But the ASIC miners are so powerful that within 6 to 8 months, your anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000 investment is worthless.
Oh,
wow, I didn't know that. So basically, people just can't. Too many people can't know about this.
ASIC mining is really for somebody that already has like 30 grand to throw down.
Yeah, and just like, here, I have this, and I can just do it. Yeah.
When Bitcoin is proof of work, and when it started, people could use graphics cards, but the more people learned about it, since Bitcoin's the #1 coin, once the whole world knew about how to mine Bitcoin, you suddenly couldn't mine it with a GPU anymore.
You had to like do all kinds of crazy shit, right?
Yeah, you had to buy all these ASIC miners and get one of those things that looks like a semi-truck trailer and park it in your backyard and cut holes in the top with fans that point straight up. And then you have to turn it off when it's raining, go out and throw a tarp over it. No. Not for me, thanks. Or rent a warehouse and do it. And I don't think that's sustainable. Bitcoin tried Bitcoin Cash for proof of stake, but people will still want the main coin, so they need to make the main coin either not mineable or mineable with something else. Or Bitcoin's going to just shit itself. All the other coins are going to go down. Well, think of a chart. Let me think. Yeah, think of a chart going down, and then the other coins are going to come up, and Bitcoin is going to stay worthless. If they don't change.
What they're saying is one Bitcoin is going to be worth $1 million one day, they think?
Yeah, maybe, but they have to get off of proof of work the way it is now because it's not sustainable. Because
no, it's not. Well, it's an extremely volatile market.
Well, then again, there's always new chips that come out. They figured stuff out, right? But the development of ASIC chips is not as fast as, like, say, the new Ryzen AMD CPU that comes out. Oh, it's 25% faster than the last Ryzen. Could you imagine having to tear your whole computer apart, change out all your RAM, change your GPU, and change your CPU just because the difficulty to do your day-to-day has gone up and now everything's too slow on it? That's basically mining for Bitcoin. And you can make Bitcoin with something called Nice Hash, and there's some others, but you're not really making Bitcoin.
Moving on from the topic of cryptocurrency for a minute. Scott, did you want to talk about Marvel?
Yeah, let's talk
I just
Marvel.
I had one last question for Robert, and that's it. I had one last. I was
Go
just
ahead.
waiting for the last 30 seconds to ask him. So if I were to mine Bitcoin and do it, how quickly would one be able to make their first $100?
So like I was saying about Nice Hash mines something else, but then they pay you in Bitcoin, but then they take a little off the top. So to make $100, I would say you'd have to spend $100. You'd have to build a mining rig with 3 GPUs. So you'd have to spend about $2,000. And then you would make $100 the first month. So that's already 20 months that you have for a return on investment. But
Yeah.
because see, the thing is, it's one of those things that you have to catch it when it's low and it's not popular, and the components to build it are inexpensive.
When it dropped off a month or two ago, when it was dropping down to 26,000 or 32,000, that would have been the best time to farm it.
Well, what happened was I did it in 2017, and then a friend of mine said, "Hey, Ethereum's shooting back up. You should start mining again." This was in February of this year, and I looked and I'm like, "It is." And I had 5 GPUs sitting on a mining rig that was off for 2.5 years, so I turned it on, and it started making me that money. It was making me $800, and then it was making me $1,000 a month. And I'd start cashing out that Ethereum and buying more cards. And right now, it's making me, I don't want to misquote myself. I had to sell most of my Ethereum recently just to get to this point, so I hope I get it back. Got a different tab open on my browser here.
I'm going to have to invest. I'm going to do it. But I don't think it'll be like anything crazy.
Right now, it is making me $1,840 a month.
Wow, holy shit, dude.
But that's just with the cards I've been adding to it this week, so I haven't been making that for a number of days.
But that means you're fixing to here pretty soon.
Yeah, you have to do a lot of work. You got to figure out 20 amp systems versus 15 amp system, and the gauge wires, and my main mining rig is running off a 20 amp cord through the ceiling of the basement all the way to the 20 amp spot by my breaker, right? And I've got a Wi-Fi outlet that you can plug into your surge protector, and then you plug your mining rig or whatever you want to plug into it, like your AC. You want to see how many watts it's pulling, right? So I can monitor it. So you have to keep on it because I melted some components earlier this year.
Yeah.
And
you just have to make sure it doesn't get hot, right?
And then I have, since it's a Wi-Fi thing, I had to go into a website called If This Then That, which can tap into that, and you had to set up widgets. Stupid. I hate using the term widget for just a thing. And 2 widgets I needed to set up, which is the first one was, if that device turns off, turn it back on. Right? So if the power goes out and comes back on, I want to turn my mining rig back on if I'm not in the house. Then you have to configure your motherboard with a setting called Restore After AC Power Loss, which means that if the motherboard sees the power goes off and then it comes back on, it boots back up. And then I had to write my own software that could receive a command from this other software that comes with my mining software, which is called a Claymore remote control thing. So I go in there, it says, add rig, give it the IP address of my rig, and put in the target hash rate. And then you go into the config. If the rig's not reachable within 10 minutes, run this script that I gave it. If the hash rate gets down to so much, restart miner. It actually tells the mining software on the mining rig, stop mining and start mining, stop mining and start mining again. And then if the temperature's too high, tell it to reboot. Or if this is too wrong, tell it to reboot. But then the magic sauce one, used to work and then didn't work, so I have to make my own software to freaking do it and call that the script, which is send an email to the if this then that website, and I have to go into that website and make another widget that says, if you receive an email with the hashtag miner_1, then turn off my Wi-Fi outlet. So literally, if Windows locks up for 10 minutes and it can't reach the mining software, it doesn't see it mining, it tells if then this that to turn off my rig, and the if then this that has another widget that says, this turned off, turn it back on.
I see. So it comes back on automatically.
Yeah, but the amount of headache and
work and time you did to design that stuff.
To design that intricate system. I mean, otherwise, back in 2017 was when I found a YouTuber that said how to do it, but their method doesn't work anymore, so I had to figure it out. But back in 2017, I'd be at home, and I'd get an email from Nanopulse like, your miner's offline. I'm like, well, FML, wait till I go home and turn it back on.
Yeah, and you can't get any money while you're out. Yeah, that's... I'm learning all this. God, this is an investment. Halo, you and me need to get on our crypto game, bro. Like, big time. Talking to
I know.
bro here.
That's what I was trying to tell you, bro. That's why I've already been doing all that little stupid shit.
But you want to hear something else stupid crazy? I see how much let's see what the temperature in my house is right now. It's 75 in my house, but I have fans and all the windows open, pulling the air in. And guess how? So it's 75 in my house with the windows open and fans in the windows pulling air in. How cold do you think it is outside?
Freezing.
It's 54.
54.
So imagine the summer when your AC's not working, but you want to mine. You just deal with it. You're like, it's 92 in my house. I don't care.
Oh my god, bro. That was like me trying to stream during the summer, and I told Scott, I was like, it's too hot in my house to stream.
Can't do it.
Let's talk about Marvel now.
Yeah.
Phase 4, man. Phase 4. They're going strong with their movies, and I hope they keep going.
I do too. I'm a huge Marvel nerd. Like.
Well, I'm waiting for Squirrel Girl because they're saying Squirrel Girl is gonna have hella shit in it.
It almost sounds like a joke. Is that a real character?
Right? That's what I'm saying. No, it's some stupid character, but apparently.
One of the female characters, and I don't have a problem with it as long as they don't make her like squeak like a squirrel. Then I'm not gonna take anything seriously at that point. I'll make Marvel. You've completely sold out to Disney. Don't do the kid shit. But my whole thing is Spider-Man: No Way Home, and the multiverse stuff, and all three Spider-Men in one movie together with possible cameo and Easter eggs to Miles Morales and all the other Spider-Men from all the other ones. I mean, what do y'all think about that?
Well, what about the old Spider-Man that wanted to come up though? Remember
yes, I want to see all three actors for Spider-Man in the same movie because of some timey-wimey stuff or whatever. Yes.
And the whole thing is this is all opening the multiverse stuff. So like all the Marvel movies they made before, like that have nothing to do with the MCU, now Marvel's able to bring those into the MCU and make them part of that story by doing the whole alternate universe timeline stuff. And have you seen Venom, Robert? Or are you?
I haven't seen the second Venom, but did you see Loki, the TV series Loki?
I did.
Oh yeah, I love Loki. I love it.
That's more of that multiverse stuff. And did you also see What If?
I'm watching What If, but Halo hasn't seen anything yet about it.
I don't want to spoil it for you, but the last 2 episodes of What If you put that into context with Loki, you can kind of get an idea of where Marvel's going with the multiverse.
Gotcha, and I haven't seen all of What If yet, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, Scott's been telling me to watch it, and I was just like...
Yeah, well, I kind of hinted towards him a few days ago. I was like, it's kind of like what Marvel's doing with the multiverse. And he goes, so what is What If? And I said, actually, it's... I'm not going to ruin it, but it's multiverse. Basically, it's all the different versions of all the characters that we don't get to see, but we get to see because of their multiverse now. And the zombie movie, by the way, Robert, Zombie Avengers got greenlit, and it's going to be Spider-Man and I think the new Avengers or something like that, who are going to end up fighting the old Avengers who are going to show up as zombies.
Well, there was a zombie episode of What If, so it might have something to do with that.
And I have seen that one. It's awesome. So Halo, I can't ruin anything for you since you haven't seen What If or anything.
Oh man.
No, because it's too cool, man. If you watch it, you're gonna love it. Because it's like everything you want to see in the live action movies. You wish that's what they did. It's like the ideas and it's just mind blowing. But Venom 2 post credit scene. Not gonna spoil anything. All I'm gonna say is that it ties in the multiverse.
Okay, yeah.
I
want to see it.
Things, and then Morbius, which is the big one I'm looking forward to, which is the vampire movie with Jared Leto playing Morbius, and that actually in the trailer has 2 Spider-Man universes in it. It has the Oscorp Tower from the Amazing Spider-Man, which was the one with Electro and all them, and then it has the old Daily Bugle newspaper in the trailer. So the trailer basically says that Morbius and the Oscorp from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man and the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man are in the same universe as Morbius. And in the Morbius trailer, Michael Keaton's Vulture shows up, who fought Tom Holland in Spider-Man Homecoming. They're all in the trailer. So it's like, holy shit, this is what they're doing. And I'm just like, well, I guess Morbius is like going to be the catalyst. I don't know if he's going to be bad or good, but that's incredible. When I saw that trailer, I was like, okay.
That's very exciting. Did you ever see the show Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I loved Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I know exactly what that is too, but I haven't seen it.
I wish it would have kept going.
If you could find it somewhere, it's a great show. But it's just the actors, they had to move on and do their own thing, you know. But my favorite thing was about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was that it was more Coulson, right? But the three characters who stood out in WandaVision are going to be on their own show called Agents of S.W.O.R.D. Because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is being reimagined to be like a multi-planetary force defending Earth. Because you notice at the end, last 2 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., they were going around in space trying to solve problems. And the director Fury, which is always, he's been in a backseat for the show because he doesn't like the limelight, as it were, and he doesn't like being a target. Had been watching and it's like, no, we need an Agents of S.W.O.R.D. We need people to go out into space and defend the Earth. So you got that character who started to get powers, but they never developed a story in it. I can't remember her name from WandaVision.
Yeah. That's the witch, the other witch, right?
No, the black girl with the big hair.
What's her name? Yes. Oh, yeah. And Wanda and her knew each other somehow, but they never really fully explained how. Yeah. And I know who you're talking about. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that Asian guy, and
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, the FBI agent from WandaVision.
See, I never finished the whole thing for WandaVision.
Oh, I did. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking about. I saw all of the episodes. It's incredible.
So the 3 of them are going to be on Agents of S.W.O.R.D.
Well, here's my question then: if it's gonna be space themed, and they're making Guardians 3 next year, and that would kind of maybe if it's Disney Plus now, they'll do a cameo. I would probably think it would probably be the Raccoon or Groot, just because I doubt Chris Pratt and what's her name and Chris Hemsworth would do that. But I can see that. I can see that happening now, which would be awesome, because apparently Galactus is now being thrown into the mix. A few months ago, they said that he's going to be the star of the new Guardians. Him and Thor in the comic book end up fighting, and Silver Surfer shows up at some point. So now this is what the whole multiverse stuff can do, is that they can bring in all these characters now from multiverses, and maybe I think what they're doing is setting up the multiverse for splitting open, and Galactus being able to come forth, basically, since Doctor Strange opened up all the planes of time.
Speaking of Galactus, every time anybody mentions him, I think of the show called The Tick from the 90s.
Yes, I love that show too.
Oh, there was that episode where they were doing a parody of Galactus, and Tick was like riding that little golf cart all over Galactus to like rub on his corns for him.
I haven't seen that one.
And then Galactus was like, "Hey, where are you from?" He's like, "I'm from Earth." He's like, "Where's that?" And he flies him there, and he's like, I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat it." He's like, "No, you can't eat Earth." And he's like, "Why?" And he says, "That's where I keep all my stuff."
They've been setting up Galactus for a while. It sounds like for something. Maybe this is his big star of his Hall of Fame moment, is he's going to come into the new Guardians. I hope that's what happens.
I saw a theory about the Eternals being part of a bigger story where the Thanos snap, because there were 3 snaps on Earth, right? The energy discharge had a residual that boosted an egg, as it was, in the center of the Earth where they had a celestial growing, which normally would take millions of years to get big enough to come out and start its childhood, as it were.
Right.
But the 3 snaps are making it want to hatch right now. Isn't that crazy?
Oh.
Well, what's this new villain? Like I was
Yeah.
telling Scott, what's up with this new villain called Morbius?
Yeah.
Oh no, Mephisto. There's Morbius, and Mephisto is the devil, and apparently there's
Well,
like
why weren't they in the old fucking video games and shit? Like I've never seen them before.
that's a good question. We should
Probably because of the darkness or whatever. You know, our culture. This is one of the reasons why I subscribe to Halo's channel, because he does the edgy stuff, and I grew up understanding goth stuff, and I was able to hang out with people like that.
Right.
And there's some of my friends, like I had a mixture of friends, and some of my other friends were like, "Why are you talking to them?" And he says, "I don't understand them." And I said, "That's why you don't talk to them. It's because you don't understand them."
And them, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
back then you couldn't have stuff like that. So Marvel, as well as DC, has all kinds of characters we've never heard of. But because they're always trying to target every demographic to make as much money as they could, which understandable as a business. You want to do that. And the MCU is tapping into some of those places. And you'll notice in their movies that every movie the MCU brings out has a different tone, right?
Yeah, it does. Every single one.
And
Totally, it does.
And I love that. Even though I never read the comics, I love that they're doing that, because they're seeing that every character, it's just like real life. Every person has a different tone to the way they live their life.
Right.
And I think this Morpheus or Mephisto, these 2 different characters, like one of them's a demon or the devil or whatever, and the other one's some sort of whatever their version of vampires are. You know,
Morbius is a doctor who has a rare disease, and he just went to a bat cave in the comic book, and he just was like, "Here, bite me," and he got bit, and then he became. He's like Dracula, basically. It's a cool story, but it's like one of their side stories to tie in the main events that they're gonna plan for the next, I think, up to like 6 years of Marvel movies. I think is what we're supposed to get, and all these new movies are setting up the huge new meetup between the new Avengers and I think Galactus and all these other characters we're supposed to be seeing within the next 6-something years.
So what do you think, Robert? You think that they're just gonna beat this series with a dead horse, or do you think they're gonna give us a run for our money?
I think they're, as long as they keep the producers and the writers the same, and don't sell out and say, "Oh, we're completely changing our contracts and not having these characters anymore because they're now owned by whoever, and whoever's retiring."
What if they bring The Rock in, or they're bringing fucking?
Oh, The Rock is gonna be what's his name? Black Adam. Oh man, that's gonna be tight. He's gonna play an anti-hero, but as long as they keep doing what they've been doing, they could keep this running for another 50 years, dude.
I hope they do. God, I hope they do. Oh God, and Michael Keaton.
So we're gonna be 70 years old, still going to Marvel movies, going, "Fuck, this is gonna be a good one."
Yes,
Robert.
we are. We are. That's what we're gonna do.
Yep. Where are we going?
Yeah, I
I remember where I was when the first MCU came out. I'll still be telling people about the first Spider-Man movie, how the trailer had the Twin Towers in it.
See, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I always think about that, how we grew up with all these movies. And the movies are so much CGI now. That's another thing I hate. And Marvel doesn't do that all the time, which I respect them for that. That's why I love Marvel for that. But I have to say the other thing that kind of I'm excited for is Michael Keaton returning as Batman.
What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Robert?
Flash movie.
Yeah, I absolutely love that, to have the multiverse bring in Michael Keaton's Batman, and they have all kinds of different variants of Batman to draw from for the writing. So I was like, by all means, do whatever, but artistic freedom, change it. base it off of something that was in the comics, and I'm sure they'll succeed.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% sure. And the trailer for the Flash, like, you know, looks great. And all you see
I was
is
never see the thing with me is I was never really a big Flash fan. You know, I thought the Flash was cool, but I wasn't a huge fan of him though. I mean, I like him more than I do, like, let's say the Green Arrow. I think the Green Arrow is probably my least favorite hero.
Did you ever watch the Arrow TV series?
Nope.
I loved
Nope.
it.
They finally, it was a great way to show how much of a boss character he really is. So
Really?
he started like Batman, as in a rich playboy, except his parents were still alive, right? And then he gets stranded on an island out in the middle of nowhere, and this island's got its own DC background that covers other characters in the DC universe. But he's stranded there, right? And in order to survive, he has to learn how to kill these terrorists with arrows that he makes. And there's somebody that's also stranded on the island that teaches him. And he also finds this big conspiracy against his company that he's supposed to inherit someday, because his dad didn't want to play ball with these other bigwig corporate headshots that were doing the thing, you know, like happens in America where corporate people try to buy up land to make poor people even more poor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were doing that, and he's like, I'm not having any of that. And he went back to his city and was punishing the people that were on his dad's list.
Damn. Yeah, because that's
So it was so he was like Agent 47 hitman style.
Yeah, and then he stopped killing the people, and he started like doing stuff to get them caught. But he's like Batman, as in like he'll show up and be like the badass playboy, but then the next scene he's off in a cave somewhere doing bench presses that even Batman would be like, whoa. Like, he has this metal pole on this thing that he built out of steel, and he's just going, hook! He's like hanging. Could you imagine doing pull-ups on a pole, and then you're hanging, your feet aren't touching the ground, and you go, hook! And make the pole go up to the next rung. And then to the next one. And then he turns around and he gets this machine that spits out tennis balls, right? And it's going, fa-poom, fa-poom, fa-poom. And he's like this. Shunk. Shunk.
I remember that shit. It was dope.
Hitting every freaking ball that comes out of that thing. And then, one of my favorite episodes is when he shows Flash how arrogant he was. Because Flash is like, you'll never hit me with an arrow, right? I'm waiting for Halo to get his headphones on.
See, bro, I liked when the Flash got killed in the Invincibles, bro. When the Flash was like, I was like, oh my god, dude, that's the Flash how he gets down, dude. You know.
But there's an episode of the Arrow where the Flash gets schooled by Arrow. The Flash doesn't think he can get hit by an arrow, right? So he's like shooting all these arrows at Flash, and Flash is dodging them, and then he stops and he goes, "Ha, you didn't hit me with any." And then you hear beep beep, and 2 arrows come up and hit him in the shins out of the ground.
How does that work?
Because the Flash is kind of like Batman. He's not as techy as Batman, but he knows some tech. And so he had like motion sensors and stuff and timers tied into crossbows that he had like on tripods on the ground.
So you mean literally all you have to do is just predict the trajectory of when the Flash is going to be coming back, and then you can trap him?
Yeah. And he did that. And then
that's not even, if you think about it, that's not hard to do. Like, it is, obviously. It's not hard to do, but...
In another episode, Flash was pissed at Arrow and was running circles around him, punching him a bunch. And Arrow just literally went like this. It stuck his leg out and tripped him.
Yeah, he tripped in the Justice League movie, which was pretty freaking funny. I was actually laughing.
See, I'm not looking forward to the new Justice League movie. You know what I mean? I'm not really looking forward to it, because I think the cartoon's better. I think the cartoon was better.
The producers and stuff over there, they don't know what they're doing. Jack Snyder, he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I still haven't seen the Jack Snyder cut yet, or whatever. I still haven't seen it.
dude, how long is it? Do you
Like 3 hours?
Yeah,
40
three and a half
minutes.
hours. It was engaging. I could not stop watching it.
God damn it, Robert! Now I'm gonna have to watch it now.
No, because I told him the same thing, Robert. I said, if you want to see,
I've seen a little bit of it, and I was like,
no, dude, the DC fandom in it, like they do so much fan service in that movie to people who actually know the characters. It's amazing. And Batman, dude, when he cussed, I was like, oh, this is epic. Batman actually said the F word. I was like, oh,
really?
Yeah, but the context was perfect. Without spoiling it for you,
no spoilers.
the scene where Batman is at is not something that normally would even happen in the comics, but it is so far removed from the normal scenario of what Batman has to do that it was like, yeah, this is appropriate.
So how in the hell? Okay, so how can you beat Manifesto then? How are they gonna beat him?
Manifesto. No one knows, man. He's a demon, and actually.
But what does he do though? So is he like? Okay, so is he like the Grim Reaper in Dante's Inferno?
A lot of people theorize, and maybe not Spider-Man No Way Home, but maybe in Spider-Man versus Venom, which is already confirmed. Mephisto in the comic book, Mary Jane dies. Mephisto goes to Peter and says, I can bring back Mary, but if I bring back Mary, I have to kill your Aunt May.
No way.
Yeah, he's a demon, dude. A life for a life. And he basically tells him that, and I haven't read the whole comic book, and I don't really know what happens, but
you motherfucker, bro, you be reading all these goddamn comic books, bro, you nerd.
I haven't read this one, the whole thing yet, but basically that's what happens. So
I've never read a single comic book in my life, but damn it, I wish I did at this point right now, just to know what happens now.
Can't believe you've ever read a comic book.
No, dude, because when I was a kid, bro, the thing is, okay, so comic books were relevant and they were around, but I was more into just playing the video games than I was than sitting there and reading a comic, to be honest with you.
Oh, man.
I know. I missed out on that part of my childhood of the comics.
Anyways, yeah, Mephisto, everyone's theorizing fan theories since they're giving us 3 Spider-Man and all the old villains in the multiverse is that Mephisto will show up in some movie and he's going to do that to Spider-Man because they already said Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy is ending after this. But
and is that why he was sad?
Yeah. But is Tom Holland, like, as him as Spider-Man, he's still going to be playing Spider-Man in other movies. Like, he's not going to be, this isn't it. But they're going to be waiting about 3 or 4 years to make Venom versus Spider-Man. So there's a little time.
Why are they getting rid of the other Spider-Man?
Well, they're not. Tom Holland's going to be Spider-Man.
Maybe it's just the end of the trilogy, and then he's still going to be in MCU movies.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. That he's still Spider-Man. It's just this is his trilogy.
Then why is he sad then if he's not going to be gone forever then?
Because that guy has no poker face. That's why.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Tom Holland's like a really super innocent like dude. So
the one I'm talking about is with the one with the big ass hair.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. That's who was being emotional about Spider-Man. So it's his last time being Spider-Man then, right?
No, Andrew Garfield was... we're hoping that he just shows up as a multiverse version of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's going to be...
I mean, truth be told, I like Tom Holland way more than I do Peter Parker, but I like Peter Parker as much too, you know? But I think Tom Holland's better. Andrew... I wouldn't really miss him, but I still think he's a cool guy. You know what I mean?
I miss the original one. What
yeah. What about the one from the cartoon Spider-Man? Spider-Man.
Oh, he was good. You know what? My favorite story arc out of the cartoon Spider-Man was Madam Web. And I never got to finish it all. I wanted to see that. Like that. My favorite episode is when him and Storm and Iron Man are on some planet fighting like dune worms.
Yeah, I remember that. Yep, I do.
Tobey Maguire, thank you, IT guy.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire. You're saying Tobey Maguire. Yeah, he's the best Spider-Man live action.
No, I mean I like Tobey Maguire too. Don't get me wrong, he is the best Spider-Man. But at the same time, Tom Holland blew my mind in Avengers. I was like, damn, I actually like him as Spider-Man.
Yeah, because he had that
Yeah.
chirpy attitude, even though he's thrown out in the middle of deep space.
Yeah, and then he gets fucking just gone, and then fucking Thor.
Tony, I don't want to die, Tony. He's just like, I'm sorry, kid. It was such a sad, dramatic scene, but that's why Marvel is never gonna die. It's that one scene right there. That one.
Yeah,
scene
but you know
holds
what?
so
though?
many people's hearts
we
in the
could talk
world.
about Black Widow. Let's talk about Black Widow
Oh,
and how we
okay.
know that Black
Okay.
Widow was just fucking terrible, and that was just an idea that really didn't need to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, tell me why you thought it was terrible, because I didn't hear that it was terrible until after I watched it, and I was like, what? What was terrible about it? Because for me,
it's just not the most exciting Marvel adventure, though. I
Oh.
mean, you know what? But Eternals too. They're saying Eternals is bad too, but people are also saying it's like you said, bro. People are also saying it's good too.
I think for me, there's only little like breadcrumbs that we got about Black Widow's past, and we didn't get a standalone movie. And I saw the standalone movie, and they placed it before Endgame and everything. I'm like, okay, this makes
No, it
sense.
wasn't boring at all compared to other Marvel movies, though. So like, you thought Miss Marvel was good too, right? Then
Miss Marvel, you mean
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. Yes,
I
Captain
thought
Marvel.
that movie put me to sleep because of what's her face's acting.
Yeah, Brie Larson's. Yeah.
Terrible acting. She just can't act. I don't.
So we could safely assume that Brie Larson's Captain Marvel is absolutely the worst compared to Black Widow, then, right?
What sucks about that happening is that every attempt for a Captain Marvel done by the comic book series has always been a flop.
Yeah.
And the second problem with that is that they made her the key moment that made Endgame finish, with us giving us a win over Thanos. Like, are you kidding me? This character that you flopped creating in her standalone movie, that you rushed to make sure it came out before Endgame,
Yeah.
and nobody likes her for political reasons, because of stuff she said on Twitter and stuff she said at press releases.
Yeah, I didn't know the whole story behind it either.
Basically, she's like, when they were doing her press release for her movie, she said, I don't want any white males there.
What? I didn't know that.
But she's white, so it doesn't. Okay.
Well, she's white
you-
female. So
you
she
go pretty
basically,
far.
she canceled herself to agree with what you
Wow.
said.
That's so funny. I didn't even know that. See, her acting is just terrible. I was like, what is this movie?
Like,
See,
it-
I can't.
The one thing that stands out to me in that movie was, like, it was written for the people who abducted her to manipulate her emotions. Yet the person they played to play the part, had no emotions.
Yep. And you know, now here's the other thing. I will say this. Of course, the CGI in all Marvel movies it's great. That was the only good part of that. Anything in that movie was the fighting, and other than that, it was just really drawn out, laggy, crappy scenes of no emotion.
Yeah, let's go drive to somebody's farmhouse and just hang out for half of the movie.
Yeah, I'm.
Let's
yeah.
hang out at the farmhouse.
But Spider-Man, after No Way Home, they're gonna wait. I think they said 5 years, and then if Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in this does good, like if this actually makes a lot, you're saying that Tobey Maguire, the old director Sam Raimi, actually might greenlight Spider-Man 3. I mean 4. Sorry, 4 after the Venom and all that, the third one. So that would be awesome, because it would make sense that Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Tom Holland's Spider-Man would meet up and fight Venom, or no, not Venom, Carnage. That Venom would, obviously, Eddie Brock is going to be in the new Spider-Man No Way Home movie.
Or by then,
But-
Toxic or Anti-Venom or somebody.
Yeah, so that's if Tobey Maguire does well in this movie, they're going to greenlight a Spider-Man 4, but it won't come out till like 2028, 2027. But hey, I will wait.
Well, talk about waiting. If they're going to do stuff like that, I wish they would do it where we see 2 or 3 Marvel movies every year, so we eventually get to stuff like seeing the origin of the symbiote, the planet they come from.
Hell yeah. I'm not spoiling anything about Venom 2, but there's hints of that in Venom 2. I'm not spoiling anything, but they do.
I'm not spoiling anything either, but what I heard about in a YouTube video was that there's this planet, I don't remember what it's called, where they all come from, and different characters in the Marvel universe kept trying to find it, but that's not actually the name of the planet, and why they call it that is because that's the symbiote's word for prison.
Yeah.
And they all come from this weapon that this creature who existed before the Eternals created so that he could behead Eternals. And that's why you got the Nowhere head floating in space in I'm trying to say all these names. You know, the Nowhere head floating in space where the Marvel movies, 2 of the movies show it. It's because the weapon,
at the end.
The weapon that was used to cut that Eternal's head off later became the symbiotes.
Oh, see, I haven't seen Eternals yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen Eternals either, and people are saying that.
Ooh.
They're saying it's crazy, bro. They're saying it sets up so much for the MCU universe.
I haven't seen it either.
Excited now. Robert got me all jacked up now. Okay, well now
I know that's what I'm saying. Robert knows his shit hella well, dude.
And that was in the Spider-Man cartoon too. That planet, because
was it?
It was one of these. It was like 3 episodes that made Venom turn good, and one of them was him seeing how much of jerks that the other symbiotes were on the planet, because he wanted to get back there.
Yeah. Oh man, if that's what they do with the Eternals movie, there might be a setup for that.
Well, I heard that they're pulling Daredevil.
Oh yeah, he's in pulling him like he's not gonna be.
Yeah.
What? How is it?
I heard. I don't remember why, but I heard that they're thinking of pulling him.
Oh, that pisses me off.
And even fucking Daredevil needs to be in the MCU.
Yeah, and I want to see the version from the Daredevil show.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the show yet.
There's another show you got to watch.
Yeah, for sure. It's actually good, though.
Yes. Very good.
Damn, we know what you're watching, Scott. You just watch all the Marvel shit, don't you?
I haven't seen it except for 2 episodes of Daredevil, and my other one I'm gonna start that I need to watch is Punisher, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
Fucking epic.
The Punisher, and then the video game that's hella old. That was probably the best Punisher game they ever made.
Yeah. I heard the TV show is supposed to be fantastic, and the guy who plays it is a guy from Walking Dead. He died in like season 1 or 2, but him. So I like him as an actor, so I'll definitely be watching that.
Wow, well, holy cow. You guys, it's already looking like it's that time already now, soon, for us to wrap this up.
Oh, right.
Do we have to?
I mean, if you have, of course, I mean, if you have another topic or 2 to talk about, now would be the chance. But if not, it's getting close to that time.
Let's talk about how I think in the future YouTube channels will have a lot of plot-driven content and stories and sketches.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So explain this to me then, because I was curious to know about this earlier.
So there's a YouTuber that I've watched for a few years. He's called Wheezy Waiter, and he'll sometimes have more than one version of himself, and he's like, "Hey, chores clone, you're supposed to be cleaning the wall," and he's like over there cleaning the wall. And then I was like, when I started my YouTube channel, would that be funny if I had a version of me and I somehow made it a part of the plot or whatever? And so you'll see more than one version of me appear on frame at the same time. And for me, the plot was, I talked to myself, and I didn't know he would appear in the frame. I didn't know I'd be able to record him. He's just there.
So he just popped up one day, and then you're just like, oh, cool, you know?
Yeah. So the first video was I was in the basement, and I bought 3 LED lights for filming, and I was testing them, see how long they would run. And other me is like, hey, your basement's filthy. You got like cobwebs and rocks over there in the corner. I'm like, I do. So
spider webs.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, I'll vacuum while you move the cord around, right?
So here, how do you? That's awesome. How do you? I need to get cameras.
Okay, but explain to me how you woke up one day and you became Karen. Okay, explain this one to me. Explain this one to me, Scott. So, Robert Gene is a Karen on the other side. He has an inner Karen, which could be a philosophy for, well, Scott, maybe you have an inner Karen.
It is a philosophy thing about the whole thing behind my sci-fi videos is that it is a philosophy about how society and life and relationships fracture your mind. You know, because people expect us to put on a different face for different situations, and instead of accepting us for who we are. That's the first problem. And then the second one is that you're trying to handle inner trauma and try to move forward with your life. And so you start behaving a different way depending on the situation. So how the Karen started was with me and other me were in the basement just after we dealt with the emo me. Because the emo me was for like...
I seen that one. Yeah, there's an emo version of Robert.
From when I was in high school and stuff was hard and, you know, a little bit dark back then, but we talked emo me to calm down. And this giant spider came out for a Halloween special. The spider crawled out of this room in my basement I call the black hole room. For some reason, whenever you point a camera at it, all you see is this weird wormhole where the door should be. And this spider comes out of it, and emo me is like, and he just teleports away. Of course, other me teleported away. So other me is always a character that looks exactly like me because he is me. And we're not sure why or how, and we're thinking it's kind of like a light switch being turned on and off real fast. It's me existing in 2 places at once. But he could...
You know what? I never thought about it like that, though.
But since he's imaginary, he could just teleport away, and I'm like, I can't teleport. I'm really here, right? So I have to fight this spider thing because it's blocking the exit. So I fight it, and other me comes after I'm done fighting it, and it's gone. I'm not going to spoil it because it's on my YouTube channel. All you got to do is search for.
Yeah, but Robert, there's like a huge trilogy behind this, though. It's like more epic than the fucking Lord of the Rings, dude. Okay, Scott, so then more epic than the Lord of the Rings.
So then, other me shows up at the top of the basement stairs, and he's throwing candy corn at me. Because remember, it's a Halloween special.
Right.
And I'm like, why'd you throw candy corn at me? Right. And where did you even find it? It's like in the trash. And I'm like, but I don't eat sugar. Where did it come from? It's like, well, it was in the trash because that's where candy corn belongs, right? That's the joke.
Yeah, you're right.
That's fucking great.
And he's throwing candy corn at me, and he says, your basement's a huge freaking mess. And I'm like, I just got finished fighting a giant spider. What? I didn't have time to clean it up in the last 10 seconds or whatever. I just had this epic Mortal Kombat fight with a spider, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes, I want to talk to your manager. And he goes, and all of a sudden he's got the Karen hair on.
So my next question is, where in the fuck are they coming from, though? Do they just come from your subconscious?
That's what I'm thinking, is that Once my viewership and my subscribership gets up and people are making comments, I'm going to allow people's comments to drive the story plot. Because right now, okay, we've got the Karen, and then after I deal with the Karen and calm that character down, the Karen does a complete 180 and turns into a really nice character, but then is awkwardly and inappropriately flirting with me.
No, you know what you need to do with Karen, dude, is you need to make her insane in the brain and just completely lose her mind and just go, oh!
Yes. I do want to bring the Karen back, but I'm not sure in what capacity yet. But Karen turns into this rainbow princess character. that you've already trolled me on, but you pulled the video down because it had a couple of inappropriate things. But if you,
I will talk to you about that after the stream. Though I got you.
Okay. So, Rainbow Princess, I'm like, what are you doing here? Blah blah blah. And she's talking about time travel and a magic wand. I'm like, what magic wand? And she brings it up. I'm like, where did that come from? She's like, I found it in the castle. Well, I'm like, I can't deal with this right now. This is too weird. So I'm like, I'm actually going to turn around, go back in the basement, and clean it like the Karen was telling me to. But out coming, my black hole room turns into a portal, and a wizard steps out. And the wizard,
did, and I missed that too because I went back and watched it, and I seen what you were talking about. I was like, how could I miss that?
And the wizard's like, "Where's my wand?" Right? And he's got his stupid magic spells are dumb. They're like, "Wandicus returnicus."
I just pulled up your YouTube channel. I saw the email. I gotta watch these videos. I'm subscribing to, dude. This is oh my god, you got,
dude. They're literally like
content.
they're like stories, Scott. They're like literally just stories, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, let's go back to Wheezy Waiter, the guy that one of the because sometimes YouTubers will show themselves twice in the frame. The guy that I watch, he's the one who says he thinks these plot-driven story things are going to be a thing in the future on YouTube. You know?
What's his philosophy behind it, though?
His philosophy is that YouTube is replacing standard television as the primary entertainment source for people in general.
Oh my God, you're right. Okay.
And some YouTube channels can mix it together. So part of the struggle for me is that I'm a tech/vlog channel, and I want to make that what the sci-fi videos are about. There's a friend of mine who gave me an idea for a future episode with the Rainbow Princess, where she's doing nonsense at that castle again, trying to steal stuff, like where she stole the wand. And another version of me I've never seen before comes along and tells me I have to go save her, and then we go through an adventure. But while we're on that adventure, it's this ridiculous tech land where I have to meet all these characters who live in caves, and they argue with me, and it's like, they're not caves. And I'm like, it looks like the Windows 10 lock screen. It's a cave. And they're like, it's not a cave, it's an arch, right? But it's all this. The guy who runs the place is like a Windows admin who never upgrades anything.
So we're going to see 5 of you guys talking to each other, all 5 at the same time, right?
Yes, because in the Wizard and the Rainbow Princess already has 4. 4 of me playing 4 different characters in the same frame at the same time.
That's a lot of work, bro. That's like getting into character for each. Like, bro, do you literally have to get into that character each time you record that character's part, or is it already like pre-recorded?
Yes, I have to get into character. I'll literally say all my lines, and I'm like, wait, Rainbow Princess speaks with a higher pitch, and she's got to be like more feminine and moving. And like you noticed, I could tell you noticed when you did that thing about my video where she's holding the wand a certain way. Women do that stuff, and they don't realize that men notice. Right? And so my point is my channel is like a family safe channel, but I still want to have those adult jokes that only adults get. You can't get really in trouble for those jokes, but an adult's watching it would go, yeah, I know what that meant.
Yeah, of course. Like, you want to keep mixing up your type of humor. I see what you mean, yeah.
Because it's got to be like Pixar. You got to be able to attract the whole family.
See, when I look at my type of content, I'm like, yeah, this is not that type of content. I don't know, man. I have a lot of influences that influence my decisions and what I do, man. I've seen some of the best YouTubers that have provided really excellent content that have been bigger than me and you and Scott even combined as a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I've gone back and see what they've done wrong at the same time, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah, you'll notice that at being a YouTuber now, when you watch your subscriptions, you're like, oh, I see how they're using the camera in this angle or whatever. I see how they're presenting this subject. How I can improve what I'm doing, watching their style, you know?
And see, that's why I need to stream more on YouTube and stuff right there, because I have nothing on that.
Yeah, I tried telling Scott that YouTube is actually not bad at all. YouTube is, I just feel like that there's a certain level of expectation that isn't there that's set on Twitch, I feel like.
So I'll tell you this, like, I don't, without spoiling it, because I haven't really written the episodes yet. So you got the Wizard and Rainbow Princess. My son shows up at the end, and my son could see the wizard. I'm like, wait, you can see him? Right? Because normally these are other characters that only I can see. Right?
Oh, then you're going to have to explain how your son can see the wizard then.
Yeah, and I might just leave it hanging, but he teleports us somewhere. It's called the Wizard and the Forest of the Trees. And my son's like, what a dumb name. Why would you call a forest the Forest of the Trees? And he's like, it's better than a forest of snakes. Right?
That is true. That is true. That is very true, actually.
And then he does a spell at the end to try to turn regular me into being more aggressive, because he found out in the last episode I defeated the spider and he has a problem in his forest. But I turn into a bruh monster. Like, bruh. Right?
Oh my god.
And then I gotta fight this floating skull, and my plan is to buy a costume to dress up as Scorpion. And Scorpion has to do a 1v3.
Dude, okay.
Oh,
so this is...
Imagine Scorpion doing a 1 versus 3, right? Against the Bruh, the Karen, and someone else I won't reveal yet.
Robert, my first question is, what is this acid you are taking, and where can I get some, please? Because I want to dress up as a unicorn princess that has a lion's face. That has a lion's face.
Lion's face.
What it had, it's like I just had the idea that Karen was going to turn into something completely different, right? And I was looking at wigs online, and there was a rainbow one. I'm like, that's it. And she thinks she's such a princess, so she's a rainbow princess.
Okay, here's an idea. What about Michael Myers' version of you, and he just has no shirt on, and he just doesn't say anything, but he just nods his head like this and just agrees with everything you say, and he doesn't say anything. Like, you need to start. I think the more characters, the better. But the thing is, you don't want to add characters that don't make any sense too. So
yeah,
I get that.
Like if there was a horror comedy, and I could have a Michael Myers.
You should maybe one day do a horror comedy.
And I want to bring up I want to bring back the Shadow People. There's Shadow People episode. If you search for that on my YouTube channel, it was really good. It was before I made that a serials, like where one went into the next. Where my dad said something about there was a flood in my basement. And he said something about not cleaning up the basement. Are you waiting for the Shadow People to clean up the basement? And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Blah, blah, blah. It's a black hole, not a portal to a shadow realm. Right? It's a joke is what I'm saying is even more ridiculous than what he said. But then I had one of those dream sequences, kind of like my Macaulay Culkin one. And in the dream sequence, there's this guy that comes out of my black hole room. And I'm like, what are you, the leader of the Shadow People? And he's like, no, I'm the local regional magistrate consulate. But I have a concept of him coming back, and it's all a dream sequence and other me. What I want to do is be other me laying on a green screen and going like this, and then I'll take it and then spin it with keyframes to make it look like other me is spinning around in the air. It's like, I'm floating and I don't know why. And then have him somehow kick over.
Down here.
Yeah, I'm like, get back down here, other me. And then he I'm gonna have a bunch of strings tied to some stuff on my shelves to make it look like he accidentally kicked a bunch of stuff off my shelves in the basement.
Turn yourself into thing 1 and thing 2. I would love to see that.
And then that's perfect. To film it from the green screen, and all of a sudden, thing 37 shows up, and he's only like this tall.
Yes. Or have one that fits on your hand that you could talk to, like Indian in the cupboard style.
Yes,
And you can sit there.
I like you, Think 52. You have a nice personality. I'm keeping you, right? Take him upstairs and then like put him in a little jar so he can't run away.
See, this is why I need to get a big ass house, just one room meant for a green screen, and fill up the whole room with a green screen.
Yes. Or you just paint the walls.
I didn't think about that, but you're right. Yeah.
So some of the this big YouTuber, what they figured out was they custom bent some pipes, right, to go around this giant room. It's like 900 square feet, and they had to have a fabric company custom make the green screen to where the bent pipe, that way there's no corners, because corners are going to create shadows, and shadows will show up.
Yeah.
Even if you keyframe the green out, it's going to look like you're casting a shadow on whatever you put behind.
Yeah.
It'll look weird. But like, yeah, if I had a big house or a warehouse, like before years,
You almost need a warehouse to record, because if I was in a warehouse, I could literally fucking put myself hella small, just pointing up at something and just.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. I gotta get on that somehow.
You
I
got
gotta reset up.
yeah,
Go ahead.
research it. You got the Vegas Pro now. I recommend you look into a company called New Blue. It's really hard learning curve to figure out their plugin. It's called Chroma Key Pro. But it's kind of like the algorithm that's making the background appear around you.
Mm-hmm.
Combine that science with the concept of a chroma key.
That makes sense. So you could literally I could put myself.
Well,
in
chroma key
Bikini Bottom.
just deletes a color, right? But then what happens is that you have like funky edges around your body or whatever that you can tweak, and it has an algorithm in it so that you can make yourself look more clear. Some of the physical laws still apply, but they're not as bad. Like, so you're supposed to have your green screen 10 feet behind the actor with a light in between shining at the green screen. The point is, then you also have lights pointed at the actor so that the actor does not cast a shadow on the green screen. But
Oh, you're right.
But New Blue plugin called Chroma Key Pro can defeat that to some extent, because it could tell where you are in your outline. But learning it took me 3 weeks. Like poking around in it, and I had to go back and forth with New Blue support because my GPU for some reason wasn't doing it right, and they had to tell me a setting to turn off. And then after that, it was just like completely opened up. Like, wow.
Well, isn't that basically my problem with the Vegas Pro almost then, right?
Well, your Vegas Pro problem was the thing they give you to download is not the installer, it's a downloader. And so whatever license pack you purchased had a bundle.
I got the trial version. I didn't buy it.
Oh. Well, I don't know about that, but the one I bought was like $120 or something. Don't quote me on it.
See, I'm gonna have to try to get my hands on one, it looks like, but that's all right though.
And it came with some stuff from New Blue, which that's what introduced me to New Blue. I'm like, their plugins rock. Like, if you saw the Wizard and the Rainbow Princess, right? And some of the cameras, so like all my camera 2s look like someone's holding the camera and they can't quite hold it still, right?
Right.
That is a plugin from New Blue called Active Camera.
Oh, that's sick, dude. I need to get my hands on that.
You can make it anywhere just like barely moving, or you can make it like jackhammer, or like you're in a boat or something. So like if I rage out and go, I really hate this thing that I'm talking about, you could just go like hit add plugin, Active Camera, drop down setting, jackhammer. You're done.
That's awesome. Huh. That's awesome. See, I don't know how to do any of this.
Is there anything you want to say before we wrap this up soon? Because I have to get going.
Just that I'm inspired to learn how to edit, like do YouTube videos, but it takes a long time to do them.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to find a new program because Wondershare, it was good while it lasted, but there's just so fucking stupid. It's dumb, dude. Like, it's easy to use, but it's also limited.
Yeah.
It's good for beginners. But anyways, with that said, I've had a good time tonight. Robert, thank you so much for tuning in and hanging out with us on Inner Circle.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is cool. And I even got some of my subscribers was in my YouTube chat today, so that was cool.
Nice. That's always good. Always good.
And then before you go, of course, we'll just talk right now in a second. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I appreciate the time. I appreciate everybody's time and effort. Scott, Robert, thank you guys both. And
Yeah.
I hope everybody else over there on YouTube has enjoyed the podcast. And I will see you guys in a week or two for the next one. So thank you.